Yeah, it's a real privilege to share my story with you this evening. So a little bit about myself. I'm 27. I'm from a place in England called Northamptonshire. I became a Christian when I was around 10 or 11 years old. I heard a gospel message at my local church youth group, which I attended. And I work for a Christian charity as a speaker. The charity is called True Freedom Trust. And like most of the people here, I'm a student. In my spare time, I'm studying for an MA in theology. It's been a complicated journey. So I've experienced same-sex attraction probably from the age of 10 or 11 as well. So when all of my friends were talking about the girls that they fancied and really liked, I just didn't know what they were going on about, really. I really struggled with that. And I never wanted to be same-sex attracted. So through my teenage years, I tried to push those attractions to the back of my mind and ignore them. I even tried to start dating girls, which went pretty disastrously. I took one girl to McDonald's, actually, and the date went downhill from there. So do not do that.
Fast food, isn't
exactly,
it?
the fast food diet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I knew what the Bible taught about sex and relationships, and I wanted to live that out, but I wondered what hope the gospel held out for me in this area. And I was really struggling to reconcile my faith and my sexuality. And in my early 20s, I entered a same-sex relationship, and that was a difficult time for me. The culture around me said that you are your sexual attractions, and the only way you're ever going to be happy and fulfilled is to live that out. And I was confronted with the truth of the Bible. I really wanted to believe the Bible didn't say what it clearly does say on sex and relationships, and I wasn't able to. I knew that Jesus had to be Lord of every area of my life. And for me, that meant leaving the relationship, and I'm now single and committed to celibacy. I really tried hard. I read all the books, maybe not all the books, but I read a lot of the books. I listened to lots of talks. And for me, the message of the scriptures is really clear. Sex is a good gift from God, but it's one to be enjoyed within one exclusive context, a marriage between one man and one woman. And I knew that if Jesus was to be Lord of my life, he had to be Lord in every area, and that meant giving up that relationship. No, I would have never chosen to have same-sex attraction, and I spent most of my teenage years fighting against those feelings and fighting against those attractions. I think thinking biblically about temptation really helped me in this area. We're all tempted to do things we wouldn't want to do necessarily, but we're all called to be faithful no matter what temptations we face. And I was tempted to do things, and those temptations I didn't choose, I didn't want, I just experienced from an early age. But I know that being faithful to Christ means I've got to react in a certain way to those temptations. And really that's the same boat that every Christian is in. We're all called to faithfulness. I tried to pray. I really tried. And, you know, my love of the Pet Shop Boys never diminished. It really didn't. It was a struggle. I grew up in a church culture which said, if you just have enough faith, God will answer your prayers. The scriptures are clear. We will face temptation. We're called to flee sexual immorality. And the word flee seems to suggest a struggle, that we're going to have to flee, we're going to have to fight. But to be faithful to Christ, that's something we all have to do. We need to be biblical in the way we think about marriage and singleness. And being biblical means we honor singleness as a fantastic gift from God. Whether we want to be single or not, once we are single, it is still a gift from God, and it can be used amazingly for his purposes. My main advice would be involve God in the struggle. Whatever temptations you face, whatever desires you have, God wants to be involved in those. Pray to God about them. Don't compartmentalize any part of your life and have that as an area that you don't speak about ever, that you hold away from God. Allow God to shine his light into that area. And I'd also say find someone who you can trust, who would encourage you to be true to what the Bible teaches in the way you live, and who won't judge you, but who'd be willing to pray with you and to really walk that journey through with you. And there are some great resources. So livingout.org is a website from some people based in the UK who have this struggle. And there's some fantastic testimonies on there. So I'd have a look at that website as well, some really encouraging and inspirational stories. When I was in my relationship, 2 parables really challenged me in that, and that was the parable of the pearl and the treasure. And the people in those parables gave up everything for the greater value. I think we really need to grasp that and remember that Jesus Christ is a pearl of immense value. He's greater than anything and everything else that this world can offer us. And no matter what your situation, whether it's singleness or marriage, just know that God's way is the best way. He is the greater treasure, and please continue living for him.